No biceps, Tristan, I'm sorry. It's too cold to take my jacket off. But look at this, everyone. A beautiful young male leopard. Now, we've actually parked a little bit of a distance away from him, just because he's in quite a tricky spot. He's actually he's at the base of a marula, but right up on the edge of a bit of a, what would you call that, Seb? I don't know, a bit of an eroded section. Look at that, yeah, see that? But luckily with our camera we can zoom right in. But he is quite away from us. I'm not sure if this is young Hosana. I think it is. Maybe some of you at home can tell me. But I think it is. What a lovely, lovely surprise to find a leopard here. Yeah, everyone's excited apparently, saying what a great cat day. Oh dear. I suppose it is. Well, all those lions, and like Tristan says, imagine hearing all four of them roaring. That would be amazing. And you can hear the hippo behind us at the moment. We're just on the other side of Chitwa Dam. The dam wall is right next to me, actually all right behind me. And this leopard has decided just to lay out in the open, and that is one of the benefits of a cool, cloudy day like this. The chances of seeing predators just lying out in the open on a termite mound or anywhere really that's open, a lot higher because it's cooler. So it would make sense. They don't have to lie in the shade, they don't have to stay cool. So this is really, really fantastic. I'm so happy to see a leopard, because I'm just trying to think now, have I seen a leopard on this since I've been here on this stint? Seb, I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Have you seen a leopard here?
On this stint, since I've been back.
I know that there was done.
Yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter. It's always nice to see. Tristan, thank you very much for holding the fort while we're trying to fend off these gremlins. Anyway, the signal seems to be back. I've just positioned on the dam wall now, so we're still quite a distance from the leopard, but at least we've got signal. And he hasn't moved. But what an interesting spot he has chosen to lie on. And you can see where we are compared to some of the other vehicles. Now, Shelley, you asked how often does a leopard need to feed? It all depends, Shelley. Much like the lions, it depends on the size of the prey that they have caught. Leopards are very opportunistic though, Shelley. So if a leopard, for example, hunted something like an impala, which is usually their preferred meal, they tend to hunt a lot of impala because it's a perfect size for a single leopard. It may take them 2 or 3 days to feed on an impala. And then they won't have to hunt for another 2 or 3 days. But I've seen leopards kill 2 or 3 impala, young impala, and hoist them in different trees and move from one kill to the other. So if the opportunity is there, they will hunt and they will kill and they will feed on whatever they catch. If it's a large kill, something like an inyala perhaps, or a kudu, probably feed a lot longer and then won't have to feed again for a few more days. But I would say on average, Shelley, I mean, it's difficult, but on average I would say at least twice a week a substantial meal is required. They also don't want to starve themselves and get too hungry. Isn't he beautiful? I could sit here for ages and watch him. Now, apparently the rest of you viewers agree with me that this is Hosana, young Hosana, that young male leopard that we've been fortunate enough to watch grow up a little bit. I say a little bit because he's not quite fully grown yet. He will still get bigger. He is about 1.5 years old now, this leopard. He was born on Djuma, so it's been wonderful to see this male and his sibling, a female, his young sister, also grow up, and she is still around. We do still see her from time to time. She's referred to as Shungile. You can hear the hippo behind me. And it's wonderful to see that this leopard has managed to feed himself. He's actually been quite successful. He's caught a number of antelope already, impala kills, so he's done very well, and he looks fairly well fed. He doesn't look hungry at the moment, put it that way. So he has done very well for himself. Always nice to see young leopards grow up and move around a bit. And now what this leopard has been doing is he's been exploring quite a bit. So I suppose we could call him nomadic. He's still very much in his mother's territory, and he's extended it a little bit, but he's not territorial yet. He's just moving around, trying to establish himself, but he's not big enough or strong enough or experienced enough to start scent marking and setting up his own territory. So he'll move around and explore the area. That's basically what he's doing, getting to know the area. Where's the water, best place to potentially look for food. This has been a great afternoon for Tristan and I. We actually haven't had to work very hard today. The lions have been on that kill. And then fortunately someone else spotted this leopard and let us know. And we now in a position where we don't really have to move around too much. We can just sit and wait, and maybe he decides to get up and move around. Who knows? Maybe even come for a drink. Wouldn't that be great? So I think because we haven't seen a leopard, I might just spend most of the afternoon with him, or the rest of the afternoon with him, see what he does. He could just lay there for a while, but these young leopards do tend to be a little bit more active. They do move around from time to time. Look at that head up. It's probably her Egyptian geese. Mary, you asked if ever had a cat scent mark on one of our tires. No, I haven't. However, I watched a lion once turn and spray a bush, and what he there was a vehicle that was parked close to the bush, and this lion, with him turning and scent marking, he actually sprayed, and the tracker was sitting on the back of the vehicle. And I think a tracker and one of the guests got a little bit of spray or scent on them. It was quite funny to see, but I've only seen that once. So I wonder what he's seen now. I'm trying to have a look around, but there's probably a lot of movement down there. Like I said, I heard Egyptian geese and that, and he's just peering down into the drainage line. So there's possibly some birds moving down there. I'm just going to scan with my binoculars and see. I don't see anything moving down there at the moment. It is quite thick though, and the leopard's eyesight is much better than ours. They'd be able to pick up on any bit of movement or animal in the distance much better than we could. I can hear a pearl-spotted owl calling in the distance further down the drainage. we're going to have to try and find one of the, well, some more owls for our list. Now, with it being so cool this afternoon, I decided, because we didn't have a coffee break this morning, I decided to bring coffee with me this afternoon. So I'm going to have a cup of coffee while we sit and watch this leopard. I'm cheating and being a little bit cheeky, I suppose, by doing that this afternoon, but why not? Let's head back to Tristan. Apparently one of the lions is on the move. Let's go see what's happening. Tristan, let's not go digging too deep now, shall we? And I can't believe you blamed the lions for that smell that you had around the carcass. We're still sitting very happily in this little position we've got. We don't have to turn and strain the vehicle too much. We parked on the dam wall and we've got a wonderful view of the leopard, and the hippos seem to agree with me. As you can hear, they're all behind us. We'll show you them a little bit later. They're not going anywhere. But Hosana has got a beautiful view. He hasn't stopped looking down into that drainage line. I'm not sure what it was that he saw exactly. It could very well have been a mongoose or Franklin's, anything like that that may have caught his attention. But he's got a lovely little spot there. He's got a view of that drainage line. But I don't know what it was that caught his attention. Arabian, you asked if leopards live in prides like lions do. No, they don't, Arabian. So not at all. Leopards are solitary animals, solitary predators. The only time you will see leopards together is when a male and female are probably going to mate, or when a female has cubs and she's looking after the cubs. That's a lovely view of him. Watch. You see, it was Egyptian geese that caught his attention, I think. He was watching them. Isn't he beautiful? Where is he going to go? Just change positions and stay there. There we go. That's good. Because if he went further down the drainage line, I think it might be our last view of him for this afternoon. But he seems happy and content there. I think the sound of those Egyptian geese, I think it's those Egyptian geese that caught his attention, as I said. Now, what day is it today? It's Saturday. Sorry, I keep forgetting. But so this is what a Saturday in the bush looks like. Now Tristan is still here. Imagine when he leaves what I'm going to get up to. But coffee and a leopard, really, really great. And this is such a great sighting. Nice out in the open. And fortunately for us, with our camera, we can get you right up close with this young male leopard. Oh, I can hear Scops owl calling now too. So I'm still thinking of the birding challenge that I've got to get through, but the Scops owl sounds like it's in Chitwa camp, literally right next to the deck. That's what it sounds like it's calling from. Isn't that a wonderful picture? That young male. Now I know this young leopard has become a favorite leopard for a lot of our viewers because we've seen him so often, seen him get up to all kinds of things. I still think of that sighting where James was on bushwalk. Some of you may remember James was on bushwalk, and this young leopard, this young male, came and actually investigated and came and had a look at them while they were on bushwalk. This was quite a few months ago. But amazing to see the trust that can be built with wild animals. Again, we'd never want them to get too close. We'd always keep that boundary because they are exactly that, wild animals. Looks like he's looking straight at us now, doesn't it? Oh, now he's yawning. Now, that could potentially be a sign that he may be getting active. He might get up and move around. Little sneeze. Oh. Often the yawning is getting oxygen into the body. He may get up and stretch a little bit, but he's looking around, his head's up, he's definitely more active than when we first got here. So I wouldn't be surprised if he decides to get up and move. Jenny, yes, all male leopards will form that dewlap at some point. Oh no, young Hosana, where are you going? Oh, just changing position again, or maybe scratch and then clean and then move. Let's see. No, just changing position. So Jenny, yes, all leopards will eventually, or male leopards will eventually form that dewlap. And again, it's an extra bit of skin to help protect them, I think a little bit in fights. And the muscle. Obviously, the leopards have got these very thick necks, beautiful big thick necks, muscular necks, to help hoist prey into trees. But yes, the males will all form dewlaps the older they get. Now, it was actually, it's sad news, but it was it's inevitable out in the bush. Speaking of these leopards and big dewlaps, I was privileged to see some beautiful big male leopards down in the central part of the Sabi Sands, and unfortunately 2 of them have died fairly recently. The one was known as the Peaver male. I'm not sure if some of you have seen or heard of the Peaver male. Beautiful young leopard, and he was quite young. I think he was about 9 or 10 years old. So I think he did die a little bit too young. He was caught by lions, apparently, killed by lions. He may even have been younger than that. I can't remember now. So that was quite sad. And then a very well-known male leopard known as the Tugwan male. The Tugwan male, or I think on Male Male they referred to him as the bicycle crossing male. And that was a leopard I got to view many, many times. And he died, but I think of old age. I think he got to about 15 or 16, which is amazing for a leopard. Let's just see. Hold on, let's see where Hosana goes, where he decides to move. I think stick with us for a little bit longer, if that's okay, Megs. Let's just see now that he's moving. Oh, watch, is he going to jump? Is he going to jump? Not too much of a jump. No. Not too much of a jump. But that was awesome. Now, there's a little bit of water over here. I wonder if he's going to drink there or if he's going to come up to the dam. But he's going in the right direction, fortunately. And you see what I was saying again. Patience pays off. Oh, there we go. See, there is a little bit of water seeping through from the dam. And that's what he's decided to drink. Maybe you heard about my coffee. I got a bit jealous. But it's interesting to see the behavior. As we said, he was lying, resting for quite some time and then getting up and moving around. And the chances of a leopard deciding to drink if there is water nearby, pretty good. So that's why I thought that he may decide to drink. I was hoping, well, it doesn't matter where he drinks actually, here or down there. Well, from this drinking cat to another drinking cat, Tristan's got, I think, one of the lions at the waterhole. We do indeed, but he's taking a bit of a break. He decided to use the soft sand as a toilet. Wonder if he's going to climb back up there. That'll be great to see. Watch him go. Let's see if he has a little jump up there. No. I really thought we'd see more of a jump. Now all we need is for him to lie down over there and rest a bit more, so we still have a nice view of him. Michelle, I haven't seen lions or leopards try to cover up their scent. So when they are scent marking, obviously spraying urine and that, they're doing that for a reason, to let other predators know that this is their territory. With their scat, I haven't seen leopard or lion cover their scat up. I don't think it matters to them. I've seen lion and leopard try cover up parts of a carcass before. And the reason for that is to prevent other predators from coming in and stealing it. Ah, there we go. He's now decided to settle down again. Beautiful pattern on his back. Isn't that beautiful? So, no, I haven't seen them cover up their scent. I don't think that it's necessary. Not like, I suppose you think of domestic cats that do it from time to time, but it's not necessary for leopards and lions. But I have seen them with carcasses, but that's for a different reason. That's just to try and prevent scavengers from coming in and stealing their kill or smelling the kill. So that's exactly what they would do. And but this young leopard has found a perfect spot for himself. I mean, he's got water, it's got a lovely view, it's nice and cool this afternoon, so there's no need to be in the shade. And that's why we're so lucky to have him out in the open here. T, you asking if the leopard markings are hereditary. No, because they're all unique. Every leopard has got a unique pattern and unique markings, so it will all be different. The only thing that you may notice perhaps, and there was a leopard down in the central part of the Sabi Sands that we used to see, known as the Sunset Bend female, and she had a very, very golden coat, and her offspring had a very dark, or much darker golden coat to some other leopards. So I suppose that is hereditary, but the markings themselves, it's completely unique. Every leopard has got a unique set of markings. No, we're quite lucky. There are a few other vehicles that have decided to come in and view, but we haven't needed to move just yet. So it's great for us because we can view from quite a distance, so we don't have to move around or disturb anyone else. They can all get a closer view for the guests, which is always nice. So everyone's happy that they can see a leopard. Always nice to see a leopard in the wild. Very lucky. It's very lucky if you do see a leopard. And I say lucky, and I know we're quite fortunate. We tend to see leopards a lot in this area. But every leopard sighting I always enjoy and never take for granted. The other day we were a few minutes behind a leopard and couldn't find it, had no idea where it went. It disappeared completely and no one got to see it again. So every leopard sighting is special and you never take it for granted. Sorry, Seb, I'm moving and causing... Now you're asking about the black leopards, if we've ever seen in the Sabi Sands. I don't think there's ever been a record of black leopards in the Sabi Sands. There have been records of black leopards seen in the Lydenburg area, which is actually not far from here. It's probably, what is Lydenburg? Maybe 60 or 80 about 80 kilometers from this area, but not in the Sabi Sands from what I've heard. And it's a recessive gene that has, or melanistic gene that can occur in leopards, but there have been records of them seen in the Lydenburg area, another part of South Africa, which, as I said, is about 80 kilometers or so from here, 100 kilometers. can see this leopard is a little bit cold in the way he's curled up, tucked away. There's a bit of a cool wind or cool breeze this afternoon with this cloudy weather. It's not the warmest afternoon. Apparently the weather report says it's 21 degrees and 69 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, Megan, that is completely incorrect. I'm sure it's colder than that. We always tease the ladies in the FC about their weather reports. I'm not sure which site it's on, and I'm sure in some area in South Africa it's 21 degrees, but it definitely doesn't feel like 21 this afternoon. You can hear the fish eagle calling behind us. But now this leopard is resting, very much like Tristan rests after Tristan is warm or cold this afternoon. He did go a few layers. Let's go find out. I had a picture of him doing his synchronized swimming yet, but apparently he floats very well. That's why he's good at it. Let's go say hi to him and see if he's still with the lions. Tristan. Now have a look at this. The guinea fowl have just arrived. Now listen to the alarm calls. They've spotted that leopard, and they are all alarm calling at him. His head's up and he's moving around a little bit. You see now he's very curious. He's guinea fowl. Look at his ears pinned down. Isn't that a cute face, that with the leopard, the ears pinned back? Almost looks like he's done something wrong. You know, sometimes if you discipline your dog, they get that look on their face. If your dog's done something, maybe torn a pillow or something like that. Please don't think I'm referring to a leopard as a domestic animal. Is completely different, but just that look to an extent. But you notice, I mean, immediately as those guinea fowl began to alarm call, his attention turned straight to them. There they go. It's almost like they just had to warn each other. They alarm called. Now they're quiet. It doesn't look like that leopard is a threat. It's not moving around. So that's why they now will move off in the other direction. See him just cleaning himself. It is wonderful to see this young leopard again. Aria, you asked if leopards, or don't leopards usually sleep in trees? Not necessarily, no. Now, leopards would actually prefer sleeping on the ground. It's a lot more comfortable for them. They don't have to balance and climb up and down a tree, so it is a bit more comfortable. Leopards will go and rest in trees, I find, usually when it's quite warm. If they're looking for a bit of a breeze in a shady tree, they'll climb up on, especially in trees that have got large branches that they can lay on. So it's a bit more comfortable for them. But they don't sleep in trees as often as people think. It also depends on the area, to be honest. It depends where they are. There are a lot of biting flies. Sometimes I'll try to get up into the trees and get away from little flies and that. But leopards, definitely. And I mean, I've been fortunate to work in this area for many years and see a lot of different leopards. leopards definitely prefer sleeping and resting on the ground than they do in trees. However, they do it from time to time, especially if they've got a carcass in the tree. Then they may also go and rest up in the tree close to their carcass. Oh, some more guinea fowl just flying in. You notice how his attention, or it caught his attention. There they are. They all flew through. Yeah, they come. They're flying past us now. There they go. And so that's it's amazing how quick he is to spot those guinea fowl flying. And how are you? Good to see you. Saying hi to some people. The owner of Chitwa actually just drove past us. But look how these guinea fowl have caught his attention. He's completely fixated on them now. Amazing to see him. Oh, he's a beautiful guinea fowl, but it's amazing how alert they are too. You know, they've seen the predator, they know there's a threat, and they alarm call to warn one another. They're beautiful birds, the guinea fowl. Now, some of you may be wondering, would a leopard go for a guinea fowl? And indeed it would. Leopards do hunt these birds, these ground birds, and I suppose a guinea fowl could be considered a ground bird, even though they do roost in trees. But they walk around and feed on the ground during the day. And I have seen leopards feeding on guinea fowl in Franklin. Listen to that cacophony of alarm calls that we can hear. He's still lying there, but he's still watching. Look at him. Sitting patiently and waiting. Courtney, you asked when it's cold, where do leopards go? Well, Courtney, exactly where that leopard is now. Anywhere they want. Anywhere they want. Leopards, like all animals, if it's cold, hot, rain or shine, they'll just move around as they normally do. If it's really hot, they'll try and find cover in the shade of trees. When it's raining a lot, they'll probably also try to look for cover in thickets. If it's cold, they'll just try to find a spot maybe that's sheltered from the wind, and curl up and just rest like this male is doing. It's not a specific area they would go into, but they would try and find a bit of shelter, an area that's just out of the wind perhaps. And I think down there, I don't think there's too much wind down there where he is, but it's not to say that they would specifically go look for a certain area. No, it looks almost like he was waiting for a meal, the way he was looking at those guinea fowl earlier. Very much like the look Tristan gets just before dinner at the DRC. Now, speaking of Tristan, let's head back to him. I think he's back with that buffalo kill. Oh, Tristan. Now, the young Hosana has not moved. He's very, very comfortable and resting there at the moment. And someone's got just a spotlight on him, because it is actually getting quite dark with all this cloud cover that we've got. I think we're going to give it a few more minutes and then we'll probably leave him. We've had such a nice afternoon viewing, and it was great that we were patient and we got to see him get up and move and go and drink and then head back up there. Saw him interact, or just rather watch the guinea fowl fly past. Now, Patricia, you asked what is the difference between a male and a female leopard. So, Patricia, if you have a look at them, I'm assuming you're asking how to spot the difference. Now, the thing is it's actually size. It comes down to size. The male is about twice the size of a female. So, female leopard can weigh around 30 to maybe 40 kilograms, whereas a male leopard can get up to about 70 or 80 kilograms for a big male. So size, the big males, also the dewlap on the male is a lot clearer, and you'll be able to see that. But basically it's the size, Patricia. So and then you can see the male's genitals. If you look if he's walking away from you, you'll see the male's genitals, just like with lions. And that's also a dead giveaway then. But if you can't see it, like if you're looking down like that, it's actually a bit difficult now to see if it is a male. Oh, shame. That's I think that poor leopard is getting a spotlight in the face there. That's not ideal. Well, their eyes are not as sensitive as diurnal animals, but it's still not. It's not great to shine a spotlight directly in an animal's eyes, regardless. Now, Lillian, Seb, there's a bird that we can get. Oh, no, it just flew. A nightjar. Let's see if it lands. Sorry, Lillian. Is it Lillian? Yes. You asked, is it, do you, I think, sorry, how old is Lillian again, Megs? 3, hello Lillian, oh, so nice of you to watch Safari live with us. 3 years old, I hope you're enjoying it. And you asked if young Hosana misses his mother. Lillian, I don't know, I would assume so, but it's different for animals, Lillian, and you need to remember this, is that for wild animals, it is natural for them to move away from their parents very early on in life. So for this young male, now is the time that he would have left his mother anyway and gone off on his own. So Lillian, it's natural, so I don't think he misses his mother like we would miss our mothers. So it is different, and he's been doing very well by himself. So I think he's okay. Oh, there's nightjars flying around. I said at the moment, wow, this is amazing. Nightjars flying right in front of us. Looks like fiery neck nightjars. And I think what they're doing is they're catching insects off the water. Let's see if we can maybe get a glimpse there. There goes one over the dam wall. Let's see. Here they go. There we go. Ooh, hang on. Can I tell you, that is not a fiery neck nightjar. I just heard it calling. Now I'm going to try get the call for you quickly. Ah, you see, now you've got... Look, they're right here, huh? What did you see, a heron? Oh, there it goes. Oh, which way did it go? It's dark, yeah. Thanks, Seb. Thanks for trying. It's a bit dark. But hang on, what nightjar was that? No. I'm just trying to find that call. It wasn't the full call. It was just the little. This is the square-tailed, but I don't know if it. Oh, that bird there. That's a goose. Yeah. Hold on a second. Let's see. That's it. That's a call that we heard. Oh, not that. Sorry, but that little. Let's see. That was so that's a square-tailed nightjar that we saw flying there. So we can add that to the list. That's great. Square-tailed nightjar, and I'll hang on. So this is the sound, but listen. That sound, that is the sound those birds made as they flew past us. So that little, something like that, that was the sound that they made. So that's the square-tailed nightjar. That is wonderful. We'll see if we can try to find a fiery-necked nightjar. Those were definitely square-tailed. It's difficult to identify them when they're flying, especially at night. And they all look very similar. There it goes, there it goes. Oh, it's difficult, hey Seb? Incredibly difficult.
Your lights on.
Yep, let's try. Let's see, there we go. I can hear a Scops owl calling now again in camp. I think that's... It's lovely now. All these nocturnal birds are getting very active. Now, Arabian Desert, you asked if there are green parrots in Africa. I don't know. Not in southern Africa. There aren't green parrots in southern Africa. But we've got many different species of parrots that we see around here. Let me just show you some of them quickly. The one that we see here a lot is the brown-headed parrot. So it is green in color, but it's not called a green parrot. But that's the brown-headed parrot. There we go. So we do see them. So we do see species of parrots that are green, but they're not called green parrots, if that makes any sense. So that's the brown-headed parrot. We see them a lot on Safari Live. We will hopefully see some of them around. We'll see. Anyway, but I'm so glad about that nightjar. Now this leopard is still just down there at the moment. Aiden, who is 6 years old, you watching and a nice stretch from the leopard. So you asked if Hosana will just sleep in the open on the ground like that. Well, he was, but look at him, he just woke up and now he's moving around. Now Aiden, these animals, like these leopards, are what we call nocturnal. It means they mainly move around at night. So I think he's probably going to move around, maybe try to find something to eat, something to hunt. But he's probably going to move around now. It looks like he's going down towards that drainage line. But Aiden also, if they do rest, for him to lie up in or on that embankment that he's on, and in the open, it's a perfect spot for him because he can have a look around to see if there's any potential danger. So he's quite safe there. So it actually makes sense for him to lie out in that open area. He can look around just to see if there's any predators coming. Alright, well I think it's going to be difficult for us to follow him now. He's moving off in the wrong direction away from us. But what a wonderful afternoon with young Hosana. Great to see him and spend time with him and to see him drinking, moving around. That was really great. We're going to move out of this area now and head back towards Djuma. Let's go across to my mud wrestling partner, Tristan, and see what he's doing with the lions.